Hi guys, it's Max from MaxiGreen.com, and I am back to chat with you today about a subject that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is ghosting. Because I don't know what it is about the season, but this is something that's been coming up a lot in my coaching practice. A lot of my clients seem to be dealing with men who are just disappearing into thin air, and it's something that happens to me a lot and actually happened to me really recently. And one of the things that I think makes ghosting so difficult for people, I was going to say for women, but I guess it's for everybody, is trying to understand why. What did we do wrong? What happened? Why did this person just up and disappear? And I have what I think are some really good explanations about ghosting that I'm going to share with you today that are going to forever and ever eliminate your need for closure. So let's get into it. Ghosting. What is ghosting? If you are lucky enough to be one of those women to whom this has never happened, I bow down to you. I salute you, because I don't know a woman who hasn't been ghosted by a man, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. And like I said, it happens to me all the fucking time. I mean, honestly, like, I have been getting ghosted since before ghosting was even a word. I mean, maybe that's something I shouldn't be talking about in public. I'm sure it probably doesn't make the best impression of me, but this is not a video about how to prevent getting ghosted. This is a video about how to process it and accept it. So let's just concede to the point that I have a lot of experience with ghosting. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, and now I'm going to share what I have learned with you. So back to what is ghosting. Ghosting is when you are getting to know somebody, dating them in a kind of romantic way, and they just disappear. And it can happen at various points. And I think if it happens like at the very beginning when you're just chatting, you haven't actually been on a date yet, or, nobody has been inconvenienced in any way, shape, or form, then it's not a big deal. So we're not going to talk about that. Like, to me, and maybe it's because I've done this. I did this actually on the weekend. I was talking to this dude that I met on Tinder, and he was so weird. He kept asking me all these weird questions, and I was really struggling to come up with answers. And so it was taking me a long time to respond. He was like, "Whoa, you don't have a lot to say for yourself, do you?" And I was like, "Negro, you're asking me like the most random questions. It's taking me time." Anyways, and then the last question he asked me was something like, "What do you like to do in your spare time other than being obnoxious?" And I was like, "What?" And then I said, "You know what? I don't know this man. I do not owe him my time or my attention. I'm just going to shut it down." And I just stopped answering him. So I guess you could call that ghosting, but to me, that's not a big deal. That happens to me all the time. It's just like it becomes clear that this is not going to work, and you just stop putting in any effort. What I'm talking about is a different kind of ghosting, where you have talked, you have exchanged numbers, maybe you've actually met, you've been on a date or two, and then all of a sudden the guy ups and disappears. And this also happens to me all the time, and it happened to me just a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to tell you the story because it's just insane to me. It's just crazy. So I met this dude on some app, not Tinder, maybe Hinge, doesn't matter. We're chatting, it's fine, everything's fine, whatever, we're chatting, da-da-da-da-da. We're making plans, we're trying to make plans to see each other, but it was the Christmas holidays, and I had my kids with me, and he has kids too, and so it was taking a bit of time to schedule this date. And then finally we make plans to get together on this one particular Friday. Great. So the Wednesday before, he messages me, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in your neighborhood. Is it okay if I pop by?" I'm like, "Sure." So he pops by my house, he meets my children. Don't judge me. It was just a quick thing. Whatever. Probably shouldn't have done it, but that's not what this video is about, okay? So let's just bygones, okay? Anyways, he comes to my house, we meet, we talk, we meet, it's cool. I don't like to tell tales out of school, but we kissed. Whatever. Fine. He leaves. I'll see you Friday. Next day, he calls me, and it was like right around lunchtime. I was making my lunch and the children's lunch, so it was, my attention was very fragmented. I don't know what he was doing. And then we're talking, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, let me call you right back." No problem. He doesn't call me back, but I didn't notice. And then later that evening, he texts me, and he's like, "Sorry, I didn't call you back. I just had to take care of something." I'm like, "No problem." Oh, I forgot a part of the story. Oh, jeez. So he had called me on that Thursday to tell me that he had to reschedule our plans for Friday. That was the purpose of the call. So he had told me that, fine, whatever. Then he let me go, said he would call me back, didn't call me back, texted me to apologize. And I was like, oh, that's so nice, because who does that? Nobody does that. Anyways, fine. Friday comes and goes. I don't hear from him. Days go by, and I do not hear from him again after this. And I'm like, what the fuck? And of course, I don't even have to tell you this, but of course, this guy was live and actively posting on his Instagram during this period of time. And this is why I tell my clients, I tell my friends, do not follow dudes on Instagram when you first start talking to them. Don't follow them on Instagram. Don't make friends with them on Facebook. Don't let them into your social media life, because when shit like this happens, then they're all up in your feed and it just enrages you. So he's all live and in charge on his Instagram. So I immediately unfollow him and continue to not hear anything from him. Then eventually, days later, he texts me and he says, are you upset with me? Am I upset with you? I'm finished with you. Yes. Am I upset with you? No. So I just said no. And he goes, okay, just checking. And then I never fucking heard from him again. Is that not the fucking stupidest thing you've ever heard? Like, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sorry. This is what I'm talking about, egregious ghosting. Because you came to my home, you met my children, you kissed me, I deserve a kiss off, okay? And by the way, I know you're watching, old boy. Not cool. I'm just saying. Anyways, so ghosting, it happens. And this video is about why it happens. And here's the thing. If you know me at all, if I have ever coached you, if you've consumed really any of my content, then you probably know what I'm going to say, which is the reason why this man ghosted you is the same reason why anything ever happens to you. It's for your highest good. Everything, good or bad, big or small, that ever happens to you is all meant to bring you closer to your highest good. That's just the fact. And that's the reason. And that's the reason that I mainly rock with. Like, okay, that wasn't the right person for me, and I just try to keep it moving. But I will admit that in this particular situation, this most recent one, I did kind of find myself starting to rack my brain, like, was it because of this? Was it because of that? But I had to keep bringing myself back to, no, it was for my highest good. The earthly reason doesn't matter. You have to bring it back to your highest good. But I understand that that's easy for me to say, not so easy for other people to swallow. So I am going to give you some more grounded earthly reasons why that dude might have ghosted you. So reason number one, he's probably a dick, definitely a coward. Whatever gift wrapping this guy tries to put this shit into, if you were to confront him and ask him why he ghosted you, he's busy, he just didn't think you're a match, it wasn't going to work out, he got back together with his ex, whatever the fuck. Really what it is that he didn't want to deal with your feelings. And that is cowardly and possibly a dick move. So you dodged a bullet. You know what I mean? A man who can't deal with the minor fallout of telling someone he just started dating that he doesn't think you should date anymore, if he can't deal with that little bit of emotion, what would have happened, years or months down the line when there's big emotions at play? A dude who does that is a dude who walks away in the middle of an argument, a dude who dismisses your, valid feelings as crazy, a dude who is emotionally withholding, a dude who punishes you for being emotional. This is not a dude that you want to attach yourself with, because this is a man who can't handle your emotions, doesn't have the emotional vocabulary that you need to have a successful relationship. So again, definitely a coward, probably a dick. You dodged a bullet. That's reason number one. Reason number two is you, or I should say your mindset. And this is why I think I get ghosted so often. Even before I became a 43-year-old single mother of twins with special needs, I was a single girl. I have been single the vast majority of my life. I have accepted it as sort of a permanent state of affairs. And so although I occasionally, try to put myself out there and date people and stuff, I know that there's unhealed stuff in my mindset. Like there's still, little pockets of my brain where I don't really believe that it's available for me, or I don't really believe that it's worth the effort. Like I can't conceptualize that life could be any better with a partner than it is single. I have hesitance. I'm hesitant about making room in my life for somebody, about, having that person, involved in my children and their lives, whatever. I have all these kind of little pockets of funky stuff in my mindset. And when you're going into a situation with that kind of mental unrest, yeah, probably that guy's going to ghost you because energetically you're not ready. You're not prepared to accept what is on offer for you. And so what I think happens, or what I choose to believe happens, is that the universe will remove that man from this uncertain situation so that you can get your head on straight, and then maybe he can come back. You know what I mean? Like when he ghosts you early on and you know that it's because of your messed up mindset, then the door is open for you to try again. He's gotten out before things have gotten ugly. And so it's a blessing in that case. It's an opportunity for you to kind of take a step back and, clean out the shit that's clogging up your mind when it comes to dating. Because when you're going into it with a messed up mindset, you're going to attract messed up situations. So that's reason number 2, your mindset. And like I said, when I get ghosted, the first place that I look, if I feel like I need more of an explanation than it's for my good, is in my mindset and what is unhealed in me that attracted this situation. The next reason, the last reason, is my favorite reason. That dude was not right for you, and you fucking knew it. Okay? I'm going to tell you another story, and it's about the same dude. In our very first conversation on whatever app we met on, he told me something that right away told me that he was not the one for me. Right away. And it wasn't anything big. It wasn't anything egregious. It's just a thing that I know personally doesn't work for me. And I'm going to tell you only because I don't like being that kind of like vague blogger, whatever, talking around an issue. But don't judge me, please. What it was that he was American. Now, let me be clear. I have nothing against Americans. If you're American and you're watching this, hi, I love you. It's great. You're American, wicked, whatever. But for me personally, I find that the cultural differences between Canadians and Americans are too much to negotiate. It requires more negotiation than I personally am prepared to handle. So I do not date dudes who are American. So when this dude told me in our very first conversation that he was American, that was the universe telling me this is not your dude. But again, it's a minor thing. It's not a crime. It's not like he told me he was a felon or a pedophile or a homophobe or something. He's just American. So I was like, well, just let it slide. And, like every conversation that we had, there would be like one or two little things that I was like, whatever. And then even when he came to my house and I met him, I was like, this dude is way too tall. Again, minor thing, may seem like I'm being irrational and high maintenance, but I don't like to date dudes who are way taller than me. I have never had a relationship with a man who was over 6 feet tall that did not leave me absolutely fucking gutted afterwards. That's just my experience. I believe that when you are dating a man who is way taller than you and you're always looking up at him and he was always looking down at you, that creates a fundamental power imbalance that is very difficult to navigate. So I don't date dudes who are over 6 feet tall. So when he came and I saw that he was over 6 feet tall, I mean, it's not like I was going to kick him out of my house, but that also should have told me this is not going to go on. But there's all these little things that I just kept letting slide because, well, partly because, they're technically minor things and it feels a little silly to, completely dismiss somebody because of these little minor facts about them. But ultimately, and I'm going to be really real with you, ultimately it was because I'm fucking tired. I don't like dating. And what I especially don't like about dating is the process of finding somebody that you even want to consider going on a date with. In order to get to that point with that one dude, I had to scroll through like fucking 1,000 photos on Tinder or whatever the fuck app I met him on. I get tired of it. And part of my mind is like, here is a dude. He's okay. He's good. And you know what? He was a good conversationalist. So that's very important to me and very hard to find. So I was like, I can overlook these little things and let's just try to make fetch happen with this dude right here. And that is a terrible mistake that women often make for two reasons. Number one, that scarcity mentality, that idea that like it's so difficult to find men to date, it's so difficult to find someone else, it's so hard to find a man who's capable of good conversation. That mentality of scarcity going into dating is only going to just attract shit to you. You have to go into it with the mentality that, you know, the perfect person for me, my perfect partner is out there, and I'm just on a quest to find him, you know, and I'm believing that. And it doesn't matter how many other men there are out there that are able to, you know, have a proper conversation and who, you know, use good grammar and who are this or that or whatever. It doesn't matter because I only need one. When you're going in with the idea that it's like, oh, men are so hard to find that I have to like just hold on to any little piece of crumb, that's shitty energy that you're bringing into it. And it also shows the universe that you're not really ready for your perfect person. And I feel like I've talked about this before, but it doesn't matter because it bears repeating. When you are willing to accept crumbs, because that's really what you're doing when you're compromising your standards just to keep somebody in your life that isn't even right for you and you fucking know it. When you accept crumbs, you're telling the universe, oh, it's okay. I don't need my perfect person because I'm satisfied to have this person occupying space. That person is keeping the space. He's holding up the space where your perfect person is supposed to be. And so the universe is going to tell you over and over, he's not right for you. He's not right for you. He's not right for you. And when the universe, by which I mean God, God sees you hearing these warning signs and ignoring them, sooner or later he's going to go boom and knock that guy out of the space. You're not supposed to be here, and you knew he wasn't supposed to be here. So that's the other place that you need to look. So like I said, if you want to look for a reason within yourself why this might have happened, the first place you look is your mindset and what funky false beliefs did you bring into this situation. And the second place to look is at your standards, your tolerance. What shitty behavior or incompatible truths were you allowing, knowing that it wasn't right for you, that invited this in? And again, it comes back to you were allowing, you know, something to continue that you knew wasn't right for you, and so God knocked it out of the way. Did you see this? We're not going to talk about it. God knocked that out of the way so that the room is available, the space is available for the man who is supposed to be there. And again, that it means it was for your highest good. So, to recap, here are the reasons why a man might have ghosted you. It's for your highest good. He's probably a dick, definitely a coward. There's something funky in your mindset. He wasn't right for you and you fucking knew it. 5, it's for your highest good. So please, don't spend time searching within yourself, trying to find out what you did wrong, what mistake did you make, what is wrong with you as a fundamental human being that you keep getting ghosted. It's not about you as a fundamental human being. If you're getting ghosted in the early stages of these, not even yet relationships, it can't be about who you are fundamentally as a human being because he doesn't know who you are fundamentally as a human being. What it's about is your mindset, your behavior, his unworthiness, your unreadiness. It's for your highest good. So please, I was listening to this Joel Osteen sermon today, and he said, when God takes somebody out of your life, it's because they're no longer supposed to be there. So just keep on moving. So the next time a guy ghosts you, if it happens, just be like, thanks God for taking out the trash, delete his number and keep it moving. Keep pressing on, because that just means you're one step closer to becoming America's Next Top Model. Just kidding. That means you're one step closer to finding your perfect partner. Now I want to know. First and foremost, I want to know what you think about my lipstick because it's new and I've kind of been staring at it the whole time I've been talking because I can't decide if I like it or if I look like a corpse, i.e., a la Beaches. So I want to know what you think. Drop me a comment about that. And then also tell me if you found these reasons helpful, if you have other reasons, how do you handle it when you get ghosted? Are you like me? Do you get ghosted all the fucking time, or is it just me? I don't know. But thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos. Bye.